Welcome back to the Yukon Gold Podcast with Will S. We are talking about sustainable development, renewable energy, and how to get humanity back onto a path of self-sustainability. We are creating a better future for everyone here on planet Earth, helping people to reach their full potential by delivering the gold standard in sustainable energy, design, education, and installation. Follow, like, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And book a free discovery call with me on my Calendly link. And check us out at yukongoldenergy.com. Sovereignty is a noun. It means complete independence and self-government. Welcome back to my podcast. Episode 22. The world is in a strange place. The last time I left this podcast, the war in Russia was just starting. The liberal dictatorship was still thinking they could control this country. COVID-19 was still ravaging the planet for you normies. The WEF still thinks they can make people eat bugs. And the Queen was still alive. I think that era has passed. It's time to move on to another better way of thinking. We're coming up to the fall. It's a time of renewal. It's a time of reevaluation, if you will. I think a lot of us have been reevaluating our decisions this past year. These past 2 years, I know I have. What was done last year in the name of science was quite discriminatory to a lot of people. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are still trying to pick up the pieces from that. The court proceedings are still not 100% in favor. Once again, I try to keep this podcast apolitical. What I did want to talk about today was AI Day. I just watched a live stream from Tesla. They just revealed their new Optimus robot. If you do a quick Google search, Optimus robot, they're trying to showcase their humanoid robot for under $20,000, which is US, which is pretty impressive. Is a conceptual, general purpose robotic humanoid under the development by Tesla Inc. is announced at the company's Artificial Intelligence Day on August 19th of 2021. And they actually had a working prototype at the event, which I was pretty impressed with. I will put some links in the description, as well as a link to the actual live stream. Musk says their goal is to make a useful humanoid robot as quickly as possible. There's still a lot of work to be done to optimize Optimus and improve it. They're currently humanoid robots are missing a brain, saying they don't have the intelligence to navigate the world by themselves, and they are always very expensive and made in low volume. By contrast, Optimus would be an extremely capable robot to be made in very high volume, ultimately millions of units, and is expected to cost as again is less than a car, 120K US. Is also expected to discuss Tesla's long delayed self driving technology. They're still working on that. Um, so this is a kind of a tech head convention, mostly for engineers and technical minded people. It's the live stream was, quite entertaining, at least for the first hour or so. Um, so the big joke out there, I don't know if you guys, there's probably going to be memes on the internet, as this thing is uh, the first step towards Skynet and T T-800s roaming the Los Angeles landscape, leading to the human machine war in the 2040s. Um, I'm not I'm not a conspiracy theorist or a nutcase or anything, but it does seem kind of entertaining. Um, we're going through a very interesting period of history right now, um, where you can basically chart your own path, your own destiny, and the things that you thought you were going to do at a high school. Um, maybe you should start thinking about a second or a different career. I did, or I have been. Um, this podcast is a part of that. Uh, as you know, here, I have been working towards, you know, the Yukon Gold Partnership uh, being a recognized entity. And in that vein, I'm always looking for talented people, tradespeople, people in the medical field, even engineers, real estate people, um, all sorts of different people. Really, this endeavor was never meant to just be a one person crusade. It was always meant to be undertaken as a team effort. Salespeople, even looking for salespeople. Um, I'm really optimistic about the future. I have been for some time. I'm just waiting and biding my time for the right conditions and opportunities that come my way. Um, we're the thing is Yukon Gold is not just an energy company. We're we're more we're more about future. We're a future minded future. I don't want to say tech company, but that's kind of the way that I have envisioned it in the long term. Um, and tech now, like technology is all encompassing. There's the internet, there is the renewable energy industry and all the innovations that go along with that. There's electric cars and all the innovations that go along with that. You know, there is oil and gas, which is an energy onto itself, an industry onto itself. There's lots of innovation that goes on in the oil and gas industry. There's the nuclear side of things. There's hydro. There's wind power. When I look at the future, I don't look at it as black and white or climate change bad and uh, fossil fuels bad. The future's not like that, right? We're going to need a certain percentage of fossil fuel in order to progress. I'm not a far left person. I'm not a far right person. I'm more of a centrist type person. Um, some would say center is right now, but I've never looked at myself that way. I just look at it from the perspective of the everyday person and how can we make everyday living better for everyone on this planet, and technology is a way to get there. Um, we're we're living at one of the crossroads of the most difficult transitions in human history because we're moving from the industrial age into the technological age and now into the conceptual age. Um, I'm referencing a concept that I read in a book by Steph Arnio, a real estate investor who has since passed away. But he said the people who can create things and conceptualize will be the winners uh, of the 21st century. Right? We're moving past the point in our lives where working a job or having a 9 to 5 is enough to pay bills and start families and buy homes, right? It's out of reach for most of the middle class because we have, we've basically turned our monetary system into a debt based system where money is debt and vice versa. Since 1971, there has been no physical backing of money or currency in circulation by the Federal Reserve, which is basically the reserve currency of the world, or the US dollar. There is a power play going on right now. I did mention Russia earlier with the Nord Stream pipeline 1 and 2, which just got sabotaged. My feeling it was the CIA, but jury's still out on that. I'm not that well connected to the U.S. military, so I'm just going to keep my mouth closed on that one. So there's a geopolitical um, things going on in the world. Also, just mentioned the Queen Elizabeth II just died. Her funeral is on the 19th of September. Uh, and we are now passing into another new era. In the future, I really um, hope we move away from monarchies and the monarchical system, especially here in Canada, in Canada. A lot of people here, whether you believe in mainstream media or not, are quite fed up with the federal government. They're just dropping finally the ArriveCan app and the vaccine mandates across the country, with the exception of the Canadian Armed Forces, which seems ridiculous. I myself have been directly impacted by this, especially last year. I was, fired from a technical school for my teaching position for my opposition to mandates. My opposition to mandates. I'm not opposed to vaccinations. I'm opposed to mandating vaccinations because I believe in medical freedom and freedom of choice when it comes to bodily autonomy. And that's a reasonable thing to want in a democratic and free society, and um, it is important that we do not keep allowing governments to infringe upon our God given rights. I am once again actively working towards my own sovereignty, becoming a sovereign individual. I don't particularly want to be a citizen of Canada anymore. There's not a whole lot of benefit. Um, you we're you know me in Canada and what Canada used to stand for don't really align very much anymore. Um, I I I'm actively looking at pursuing dual citizenship to the United States. I ultimately probably going to move to Texas at some point. I want to be closer to what's going on with SpaceX and Starlink, uh, and Tesla. I'm a technical minded person. I'm into engineering. Um, I do have some background in those fields. And, I think, working towards a better future for all of humanity is what my life purpose is all about. That's why I started this podcast. That's why I started Yukon Gold. I don't look at Yukon Gold as a company in the traditional sense. I look at it as a movement of people working towards a common goal, um, for a prosperous and abundant future on this planet. We have everything we need here. We don't have to be going to outer space to find lithium or things like that. We need to be working towards proper recycling, proper allocation and distribution of the resources and the assets that we have in abundance on this planet. Um, the problem is there is an elite ruling class of entrenched bureaucrats and money money people, that are shadow governing the world, um, and it's a direct threat to humanity and life on this planet in general. We are going to continue to see climate lockdowns. We are going to continue to see fake news and fake, um, engineered viruses put into the population. People are going to be unfortunately relegated to metropolitan areas. There is going to be an even farther, basically, another farther distribution of wealth and disparity. And unless we work collectively as the 99% to throw off the shackles of the old world and start building the systems and the technology and the infrastructure to build a parallel society, um, we are in for some very turbulent times. And I don't want to be a naysayer or a doomsayer. Once again, I'm a very positive person. I have positive thoughts, positive outcomes for the future. There is just storms and calms, throughout life, time, and space. We're still in the tail end of a storm. There's a bit of a calm coming up before the next storm. I think we're heading in this last quarter of the year. Um, the things in Russia are only going to get worse. I know a lot of people in my circles are leaving, um, and I my thoughts and prayers go out to the people of Russia, the people of Ukraine. I know I haven't directly addressed it on this podcast. It's not something that I'm super knowledgeable about. But I know that war is a manufactured industry. It's an industrial complex. It has been since the beginning of the 1900s, the late 1800s, right? They use proxy wars in order to generate shortages and manipulate the economy and create create an industry, so what I hope for humanity, and through this podcast, Yukon Gold, the Daily Taoist, and my work on Doomer Bloomers. If you're listening, um, start thinking peace, peaceful, peaceful thoughts for humanity. Think, I and the world am at peace. I and the world are at peace. I am at peace with the world, because that is the vibrational energy of the universe that we want to send to Ukraine and United States and China. We want these three superpowers, right? We want these three empires to start getting along, and we want to start the world to start getting along. And we do not want the WEF, the World Economic Forum, to become the new world order and start force feeding us bugs and having us work farms against our will, um, have us endure more climate lockdowns, more locked. Like, it's time for the collective will of the awakened species of human Earth, the planet of Earth, to to rise up and take back the God-given rights and power that were given to us, a very, 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 very long time ago. And to be at peace with the world, the change must start with yourself. So you must be at peace in your internal being and core. And then we can have peace in our lifetimes. I can see it, guys. I can see a vision of 2030 in my mind where there is no war. We have everything we need in abundance. I'm connected to this field of energy, and Yukon Gold is the center of that vision. So, in that vein, please connect. Please connect with me on my Twitter account at Yukon Gold Limited on Twitter. I am available for a chat. Okay, I'm available, guys, on my Twitter account. I have my Instagram and my Facebook, Yukon Gold. This podcast is about, at its core, humanity and where we need to be in order to get there. Okay? I love each and every one of you on this planet, and those of us in the Mandelbrot universe, And I do not want the WEF, the World Economic Forum, to come to power. It's time for a reset, the greater reset. Let's go, guys. It's time. The time is now. Here at Yukon Gold, we are creating a sustainable future for everyone on planet Earth. We are helping people to reach their full potential and become sovereign on this planet. If you enjoyed this content, please follow, like, and subscribe on your favorite platform. Namaste from Will S. Peace.